And we're back outside the studio again today. Back-to-back times.
Back-to-back.
More of an impromptu podcast today with my buddy, Garrett Stollar, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Got a good workout in at the Mecca this morning.
Yes, we did.
Gold's Gym Venice. If you listen to Beans podcast, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, whatever.
Listen to Beans podcast.
Whatever, yeah. You know, got to plug myself sometimes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. So, big power lifter guy over here. I've known him since freshman year of college.
Freshman year.
And yeah, now
it was like 12 years ago.
He's picking up weight and putting it down.
I'm trying. Really trying.
So yeah. What got you into that, man? Like the whole powerlifting scene, because this is what I've been learning recently. Powerlifting is completely different than bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's very different.
If you listen to Beans podcast, you'll get the bodybuilding portion of it.
Absolutely.
Garrett's, you'll get powerlifting.
Hopefully so. If I can do it justice here, explaining it. Yeah, what got me into it? I will just go like way back.
Yeah.
So I mean, high school, I was a runner. I did cross country. I did track.
I'm going to embed some of those pictures, too.
You have to.
Skinny
you
as fuck.
have to. Even skinnier than I am now. No, I was like the same height and like 30 pounds less, like actually.
Yeah.
And so basically senior year, I did cross country for the last time. And I was like, I don't want to do track. Like, I don't want to ever run again. I just got so burnt out from running. And so I just kind of started lifting weight, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just like, I want to try and put on a little bit of muscle.
Get some chicks.
Maybe. I was also going out for lacrosse, so I, wanted to get a little bit bigger for that.
At college?
No, just for my senior year at high school.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, I started working out and then got pretty into it. And then freshman year, I think, so Johnny and I both went to USD. Shout out, go Toreros.
University of San Diego.
Go Toreros.
Go Toreros, baby.
Go Toreros. Class of 18. Johnny left us though. Anyway, and then, yeah, I was definitely, was into it and had the drive that I took from cross country, kind of that same mentality of like, it's a long distance race, if you will. Like it's a long-term game. But then I think I got a lot more nutrition too, which actually Johnny was the one who really put me onto that, because Johnny was just shredded. And I was like, dude, what's your secret? And I didn't, at that point, like I wasn't as into like really tracking nutrition and staying on top of that. Yeah. So Johnny really got me into that. Honestly, you like put me on to keeping track of your calories and all that stupid Jim Stopani shortcut to shred the snake.
Oh my God. I love that shit.
Yeah. But then ultimately what it came down to is like, I was pretty into that. And, but I realized I got the most satisfaction out of not trying to lift to look a certain way, but from lifting heavy weight. Like I got so much more of a rush and excitement from like getting a new PR on a squat or a bench or deadlift or something. Mm-hmm. And eventually I was like, you know what? Like, why am I wasting my time trying to look a certain way? Like, I'm never going to be a good bodybuilder. Like, I got narrow shoulders, tiny calves. Like I got a lot of things wrong with me. Low-key a very feminine physique. And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to be a bodybuilder. And I was like, so why would I waste my time with this when I love lifting heavy so much more? And so that's kind of, I think it was summer.
Yeah, when did that flip?
Yeah, that was summer.
Switch flip.
16, I think, 2016.
Okay.
I started doing my first actual powerlifting program, so like really focusing on squat, bench, and deadlift, and then it kind of went from there.
So was that like the basics of powerlifting, squat, bench, deadlift?
Yeah.
Are those the only 3 lifts?
Yeah, so in like the vast majority of meets nowadays, that's all it is. It's squat, bench, deadlift, and I mean, I don't know how technical to go into this here.
You can go as technical as you want.
All right. So basically how powerlifting works is it's split up by, your age, your weight, and gender. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to have 160-pound females going against 300-pound males, right?
Oh, yeah. That's
just
like
really
classes.
any sport. And so, yeah, how it works is you go into the meet, you weigh in and all that. You squat first, so everyone gets 3 attempts for each lift. Mm-hmm. So I've done 2 meets now, and I get to choose my numbers. So I go in, and I'm like, okay, my opening squat's going to be a number, like a weight I know I can hit, and probably something I could hit for like a triple. And so the idea
is... What does a triple mean?
Like 3 reps. Yeah. Triple,
so it's not just 1 rep?
It is 1 rep, but like the opening weight.
So you get 3 attempts to lift, to lift every
you get 3
movement?
tries. You get 3 tries. 3 tries
to get your max weight.
Yes.
And so you start.
And so like, why would you start super heavy? You should like get one on the board. So you're like on the board.
Got it.
And so you
like
might
one
as-
you can do for 3 reps.
Exactly. One you can hit, just to kind of build up confidence. And then depending on how that feels, you go to the next one. Same thing for bench and deadlift. Yeah, and then basically how it works is your total number. So let's say you squat 300. Just keep it simple. Bench 300 and deadlift 300.
Are those good numbers? Those aren't good numbers, right?
They're all right.
But anyways.
They're all right. Bench, that's a solid number for bench, 300.
Yeah.
You add those numbers together, and that's your total. So 900 pounds is your total. If you come along, like he always does, and he does like 1 pound more, you win. So you get 901, I get 900, you win.
So
You take the belt.
Take that belt.
You take
it home, put it on the mantle.
Take it.
Wait, but how do they like? So if someone's going before you and they like, so you can break someone's record pretty much. Like you can win the meet going last.
Yes.
So does everyone try to go last when you get to the meet, or how does that work?
I mean, like I'm competing at a local level. It's not super serious, but
when you get to
the elite levels,
yeah.
They aren't always necessarily trying to like set a new world record. They're just trying to go just over what the other person did. Because all they need to do to win is beat the other person. So a lot of times when it comes down to it, deadlifts are the last lift of the day. If you're behind by like 20 pounds, it's a time to catch up, right? Like maybe you need to only go a pound over what they did to like break their total, to beat it. So yeah, I definitely can get at the elite level, like a national level, pretty strategic.
But why don't they do it like where you don't know what other people are lifting?
Because you're on a platform. You're like on a stage. Everyone knows what you're lifting.
Yeah.
It's a public.
But that's just like cheap if you go last. No?
I guess.
I guess
mean,
not.
You got to hit it though too.
Yeah,
like you can't
it.
just be like, all right, if I just add an extra 50 pounds, I'm going to beat this guy. Like it needs to be, it needs to be like within realm of reason. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So like where do you see that taking you? Like, are you just living in the moment right now and enjoying it? Or like, do you have an end goal for it? Or, cause it's something that like, that's not like a path well drawn out for every,
Yeah.
It's not like if you're playing basketball, you want to get to the NBA.
Right.
Or like,
right.
like some people, I don't know. Like where do you see yourself?
Yeah. I mean, right now it's one of my biggest passions. Like it's just something I love.
So you're just doing it like
devoting time to.
It, yeah.
I love the competition aspect of it. Like it's cool to have that back in my life. Like it really feels like, in a sense a sport. Like you're competing against other people. Yeah, it's very personal, but like ultimately it's not, it's 100% objective. Like you either get the number or you don't. So I love that kind of competition aspect of it. Like long term, hopefully I can look back on this podcast in a few years and be proud of myself. But like long term, I would love to qualify for nationals.
Damn.
Like later into the 20s kind of thing. That's like kind of where I want to go. Like even if I get dead last at nationals, like I want to qualify and go. I have quite a ways and a lot of work to do. Like if I'm being honest, but I'm willing to do what I can to get there. So, but we'll see where life takes us.
So nationals, damn.
Hopefully, I mean that's like the goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's just kind of the long-term vision, but it's always like 1 week at a time, 1 meet at a time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just touching on like the competitive aspect of things. At least in my life, bro. Like when I lose that competitive, I don't know, because I was playing basketball forever, and then that stopped, and then I like felt so lost, like just because you don't have that. Like that passion towards something.
Yeah.
And at least for me, like that competition, like that shit gets me going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everyone needs a little bit of that in your life. Yeah.
Goals.
Just going towards somewhere, like I don't know. So and I see some people, like the people that I know that aren't like super fulfilled with their life just don't have that like competitive.
Absolutely. It carries over to
anything.
But
yeah.
For sure in the gym though. 'Cause like, when people are just going, like I totally get being healthy. That's awesome. And I support anyone going to the gym just to be, to get a little shape, build a little muscle, like build some confidence. That's a wonderful thing. I think everyone should do that. But at the same time, I think the next level is really like having tangible goals. And like for me, when I was, like doing the whole bodybuilding thing, like it's harder because that's not as tangible, right? Like it's in your mind. Like you get in your own head, like, oh, I don't look good, or like he looks better, or whatever.
Body dysmorphia is real too.
That's a real thing. Check out the Bean podcast for that. But for me, it's like, it's very tangible. Like I want to squat this, bench this, deadlift this, and this is the path I need to take.
Right.
It's all part of the reason I love powerlifting too is it's so calculated.
Yeah.
Like my training, I'm working with a coach right now too. Like every move is calculated, every set rep, like it's based on percentages. Like we're doing this percentage this week for this many reps. Next week it's going to be this.
Yeah.
Like I have basically an Excel type file and like, you know, an app and stuff. And so it's very calculated.
The structure.
Very scientific, like strength progression. And for me, like I just nerd out on that. I started actually writing programming for a buddy. Shout out James Cho.
James Cho.
And so it's fun, like kind of working with him now, and I'm doing the programming for him. And
that probably helps you learn a lot too,
so
like,
much
from what you want to coach and like from what.
And each person's different, right? Like for squats, some people, like it's called sticking points. So like a bench is a better example. Some people are like, when they're benching, are really weak off their chest, but then they lock out really easily. Whereas some people get it off their chest quickly and they're slow to lock out.
Got it.
So that's like a difference of weak shoulders versus triceps.
There's so many little intricacies
where your
like
weaknesses
that.
are.
Yeah.
So if you're weak at lockout, you can do movements where you just lock out, right? Like a lot of tricep work, or where you're benching like only this part of the motion. And so like I can see like when my coach is working with me or when I'm working with whoever, like I can see where their sticking points are and then prescribe them movements to help like work through that area and build speed through that.
Definitely. And it feels good to help people like learn about that stuff too, you know?
Absolutely.
Like people that are passionate about it and help them out. And
For
like,
sure.
I'm sure like helping James is like really feeding your soul too, you know?
I love it. It's literally brings me so much joy when like James, I hope you watch this, man. Like when he sends me these videos of him, like, you know, he takes videos of himself like squatting or whatever. And like I'm critiquing his form and giving him suggestions. Like I love it. I love it. It's so fun. It's something I want to do. Like
be a coach.
Yeah. One day for sure. Sure. Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Cause well, I went to watch Garrett's competition at the Dick's Sporting Goods in San Diego.
Shout out Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's just in the middle of a Dick's Sporting Goods. Just
kind of lit.
Fucking grunting, going fucking hard. I was like,
wearing tights. It's not flattering.
You wear is it a singlet?
It's like a wrestling singlet.
That was heavy. Yeah, that was heavy. But that's like a
it's
whole.
Not safe
but
for
that's
work.
a whole little like, not underground, but it's like there's a big culture for that. Like
for sure, it's growing. It's growing.
It's definitely growing. It'll be interesting to see where it goes in like 10, 15 years.
And I think part of the reason it's becoming more and more popular is anyone can do it. Like at my competition, there is a man there in his 70s.
I remember that.
Lifting
that was
heavy
the most
ass weight.
Thing I've
like
seen,
it's so inspiring. Like he goes up there and everyone's screaming, like yelling, like I don't remember his name, but it's probably Johnny or something. Like Johnny, you know. And it's so cool. Like it doesn't matter your shape, size, like gender, like age, whatever. Anyone can do it, which is why I think people are attracted to it.
I think it's great too because like a lot of people don't have like certain athletic skills to play a sport. Like I don't know, you know. Garrett's hand just shot in the air. So I mean it's cool to have another like thing that anybody can do, and it's more of like I mean I'm sure there's some like genetic gifts to it for sure. But like the basic, like anyone can do that at an amateur level kind of thing. And like you're competing against yourself really. It's like like how much can you improve as a person, then you can carry that into other areas of your life too. So it's like
it really does carry over.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure the discipline.
I feel like that's with a lot of things, right? Like if you're slipping in one area of your life, it's eventually going to transfer over. But if you're really passionate about something in one area of your life, you can take that drive and bring it over to other areas.
I agree, man. Like how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah,
that's really how. I mean, to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, it varies day to day, but like overall, I think effort is a universal thing within someone's life, and it's good to have goals no matter whether it's work.
You always got to be working towards something.
Yes. Yeah.
I really believe that.
Can't be spinning in circles.
No, definitely
my life
not.
Without rehearsal.
Oh my God. I can't quote so many J. Cole lines and ruin so many J. Cole songs for me. It hurts.
I listened to that 2014 Forest Hills Drive on the way up here.
Oh my God.
Brought me right back to freshman year.
That's my favorite album
ever. That's a great album. That's
if you don't know what I'm talking about,
that's his best album.
Please listen to J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive
phenomenal.
album.
It's phenomenal. I'm telling you right now, you gotta listen. J. Cole, if you hear this.
Also listen to Valentine's Eve.
Transition.
What a great transition, Johnny. Johnny, you're the best at this.
B-roll. It's like you on a podcast.
I'm learning every day.
Lobcast.
But go. Anyways, go listen to Valentine's Eve. Is that the name of your EP? What's the name of your EP?
The name of my EP is When We Were Young.
When We Were Young. Yeah. I remember you playing. So Garrett has an EP on Spotify, Apple Music. Garrett Stollar.
Plug. When You Were Young. His plays always go up around Valentine's Day because they actually do. It's really funny, honestly. Like
because you have a
year,
song called Valentine's Eve. So
yeah.
I gotta preface that, make sure everyone knows.
So it's an EP. It has 5 songs, and you can see like on Spotify, you know how many plays there are. Like it'll show you how many people played it. My songs all year round, or it always says less than 1,000. That's like what Spotify shows you when you just don't get plays. And then always around Valentine's Day, my song Valentine's Eve will be like 1,067 or like 1,080. Like
it always boosts
it crosses that threshold.
I mean, I play it every Valentine's Eve, to be honest.
It's a national holiday now.
It's a national holiday.
Yeah, I'm getting paid. No, I'm not.
Do you not get? How does that work?
So
like, how do you even get your music on?
Yeah, so
I'm trying to get a few songs on there.
Let me sing a chorus. Let me get in there. Yeah, so like basically how it works is you generally, I think, unless you know people in the industry, which I don't, you go through a third party. So there's a company that I used with the producer I worked with called CD Baby. Mm-hmm. And basically you pay them and they distribute your music on Spotify, Apple Music.
How much does that run you?
Google Play.
Super expensive?
It was like $200.
It
was reasonable.
You don't have to pay just $200 flat?
Flat, yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
I think they collect royalties, you know, a percentage, but I haven't gotten paid once. I think I set it like, you can set it to like when you make X amount of money, transfer it to your bank account. I think I set it to like 25 or 50. So like when I make that much money, I haven't gotten paid yet. It's been 3 years.
You got to start faking your streams, bro.
I should fake my streams. I'm a SoundCloud rapper, actually.
Oh my god, Young Tuna.
Please
stop.
But yeah, no, it's on all the major streaming sites. So
When We Were Young, Garrett Stollar.
When We Were Young.
And so are you working on any more music, or are you kind of putting that on hold, or?
I've been writing some stuff. And I've been definitely playing like a good amount of music. My new thing, I just moved to a different part of San Diego. So I'm trying to play some open mics. I'm trying to really like be intentional. Like we were talking about with powerlifting, with goals. Like I don't have any goals right now with music. So I feel like I need to get some.
Exactly.
And so like first one is like open mics, like start doing that more.
Yeah, bro, just make a goal.
Putting myself out there. The long-term goal is I want to do a full album. Like a full 10, 12 song album. I could do one right now. I have enough songs. It's expensive.
Is it why?
Cause studio time.
Like, but
producers, you can be the best like songwriter in the world, but if your production's bad, no one's gonna listen. There's so much. Even like
I don't know anything about that world, to be honest.
Oh, we'll dive right in. Like your favorite artist, like acoustic artist, whoever that is. Like they have so much production that goes into their songs, like an Ed Sheeran or like John Mayer,
J. Cole.
like J. Cole, Iggy Azalea. Like there's so much production, even for acoustic songs.
Wait, what? Like why? Because you have to just mixing the vote. I thought you just have to mix vocals and shit.
Yeah, but it's dynamic, right? Because like a guitar will be, you know, the areas in which it's louder and you have to compress it basically. So like. If someone's singing and then all of a sudden there's a part of the song where they start to like sing a lot louder, like you got to compress that and kind of make the sound. All music today is compressed, whereas like, I don't know, I'm going to probably butcher this. So I'm not going to say a date, but like back in the day, it wasn't compressed. What that basically means is music you listen to on the radio now it doesn't spike above a certain point in terms of sound. It's flatline. So like even the loudest part of the songs, they aren't getting above a certain point. Like they aren't spiking because that would like hurt your ears.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, that wasn't a thing. So all music is compressed, and it's mixed. So like even bass drops, like, yeah, they're loud, but like it doesn't get above a certain point where it's unbearable. You don't need to like turn down your music.
And so you have to pay somebody to...
Yeah, so for me, like
an engineer or something.
I was in the studio. I was doing the guitars, you know, the vocals. I was recording some of the bass lines, keys, and kind of working with him on some of the percussions. But he mixed it all together because it's like a program. Like you're using this program to record a podcast. I think he was using Logic or Ableton or something. Yeah, and mix it all. And so you just have to deal with vocal tracks. Imagine having to deal with the drums, bass, guitar.
Yeah.
And make it all sound like it has to sound good on its own, but then also all sound good together. It just takes hours.
So is that what mixing it? So what is mixing exactly? Is that
so mixing is the like it's kind of like an orchestral aspect in a sense. Like it's bringing all the stuff together and making sure like, oh, the bass isn't too loud, making sure it jives and flows well together. Because you have a song that just like the snare drum's way too loud, like it's just not pleasing to hear. So mixing it is just kind of like putting it together and making it sound flow well together.
Right.
And then mastering is the really, again, I'm probably still butchering this. So if you're like a music producer and you're just rolling your eyes at me, I'm sorry. But mastering is kind of what I was talking about with making sure it all sounds good, like in different kind of speaker systems, like maybe in earbuds versus your car, making sure it all sounds good and uniform.
So those are different. Oh, so you have to listen to it like everywhere to make sure it sounds good on every platform. That's part of
an aspect of mastering it, but it's making sure the bass isn't too loud, making sure the high frequencies aren't too loud, kind of like evening it out, I guess. It was funny. My producer actually, you remember, of course, you do Purpose by Bieber, that album.
Fucking great album.
It's a great album.
A hit.
I remember him, the guy who produced my EP, like posted on social media or something about like that album had a ton of high frequencies, I guess. And I'm like, how do you even like recognize that? But that's just a producer's ear.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, like this album has so much high
and
frequency.
Is he saying that's a good or a bad thing?
I think it was kind of neutral. I don't know. Maybe it was a little
just
negative.
An observation.
But like the average listener is going to hear that. But I think also you just hear music differently when you've been in that environment. Like I'm sure now you're going to start to hear podcasts differently, right?
Yeah,
like,
super
because you're behind the scenes. Like I hear music, I'm like, I'll notice little things. Like I actually noticed in a song that came out recently, a little like mic pop, like when you make a b or a p sound. Like I kind of noticed it in someone's vocal track. Like I don't know how they didn't catch that. Just
you hear shit different.
Yeah, you hear like the individual, like, oh, I like what they did with the bass line here, or like the way the drums came in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, like even on my end, like this is my like fucking 7th episode, but still, like I'll watch a podcast with like two cameras like this, and then I'll be like y'all don't know how long it takes to cut that shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
panning back and forth.
Oh my goodness, like it's so much work. It is so much work. I mean, people probably have a better way to do it than I do. I just like go back and forth. Yeah.
You're a sole proprietor.
I am the director,
Johnny Novo podcast.
Producer, writer, creative director.
I don't care if we sell 3 copies.
Assistant producer,
intern.
I actually do have an intern. Shout out to Khalil.
He couldn't make it.
He actually creative directed this episode, but
yeah.
Shout out to my man.
Shout out to this plant.
So
you can't see the plant.
You can't see. He took the plant out, man.
That's all right.
So back to the music stuff. So are you like, do you like writing more than? So you're not a producer. No. You're a writer and an artist.
Yeah, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I'm an artist.
Facts though. No,
I'm an M-list celebrity.
Oh my God! Stop! You gotta stop abusing that.
Sorry. No. Yeah, I have no clout at all.
So do you like writing songs for people too? Have you ever done that? I feel like you'd be really good at that.
I would love to.
I feel like you'd be really
That's
really
like
good at that.
My true passion with music is the songwriting. Like, yeah, like playing stuff live is fun. But I just love writing songs.
You get in your bag sometimes.
I do. I write some love songs.
Who hurt you, bro?
Everyone. Mostly myself.
But nah, yeah. So writing, I don't know. Like
someone makes eye contact with me for like 4 seconds, I'm in love. Like
that is way too true for you. You gotta relax.
We don't need to go there. Yo, cut this.
Oh my goodness, that's the quote of the day for me. But yeah, so back to like writing, like I feel like you'd be really good at that, man. Like,
Thank you.
You should. That's something you should really like.
I would love, to be able to do that and like even like maybe make money off it. That'd be amazing. I mean, that's what's sweet about songwriting. Like people who are songwriters, right? Is they get paid, but they don't have the fame, right? They don't have to deal with that BS because you're Like a good example would be Black Bear, the artist. Like he's famous for sure.
Who that is.
Whatever. You don't listen to J. Cole. Black Bear, he's famous, but before all that, he got, he was doing really well for himself by writing songs. Like he wrote Justin Bieber's Boyfriend, that song.
That's a hit too.
Yeah, he wrote that. So like he's making a lot of money.
Yeah. He's probably still making residuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those residuals are tasty.
Yeah. But like Ed Sheeran, he's a big inspiration.
He used to be a writer, right?
Ed Sheeran's written for a lot of people. He wrote for One Direction. He's
Swift
written
too,
for Bieber. He's written for Taylor Swift. He wrote for some of the individual members of One Direction when they broke up. R.I.P.
Are they still broken up?
Yeah.
Didn't they just get back? Oh, it was the Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers.
They're whack.
Yeah.
They're whack.
Yeah.
Hot take of the day.
Also, their new song, whatever it's called, sounds just like Feel It Still by Portugal the Man. Go listen to those songs back to back after this. It's conspiracy.
You should put them together side by side.
It's just very similar. Yeah, so I don't know. I just love songwriting. Like I love words. Like when I listen to songs, I really listen to words. So for me, it's cool to just kind of try and tell a story, but make it work together with rhymes and syllables and kind of like dissect and break that down and then set the mood of what I'm trying to say with music.
Yeah.
Like for me,
it's a skill.
When I'm writing songs, usually I think I have the idea first. I rarely have written a song that started with music. It's usually like lyrics and then I'll find something that works.
Really?
Generally, yeah. Sometimes I'll find a cool riff and I'll be like, all right, record this like on my phone, save it for later, and I happen to have lyrics that work.
I feel like that's an unpopular opinion. Is it not? I feel like people mostly like hear a beat or hear like you said, like a riff.
Yeah, maybe
like
maybe you get
them.
Yeah, I guess you get inspired, but like I guess that's true. But I feel like for me personally, more often than not, I'll have some sort of lyrics and then find something that works for it musically.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. For me, the lyrics like trump the music in a sense. Like obviously you have to have amazing music and it has to match, but the lyrics are really important to me. No, and sometimes what I struggle with is actually too many lyrics. Like I need to cut it down to make it more digestible or like singable.
What's that bar you have on your song? The
We're a month and it ends up we're texting from a friend who heard from a friend. It is the end.
Wait, say that slower and closer to the mic. This I never know what he's saying in this part. Go listen to Valentine's.
It's like
I'm texting from a friend.
It doesn't a love that doesn't last for a week or a month. Then it ends over text from a friend of a friend who heard from a friend. It is the end.
That part always fucks me up.
It's kind of bar.
It's a bar
it
for
is.
sure.
The music cut out. I told the producer, I was like, I want the music cut here. It needs to be just me. Yeah.
Was that your call on that stuff?
Yeah.
You just listen.
I gave a lot of stylistic input. Like when I recorded that EP, I had in my head I'm like a psychopath. Like I had like the sound in my head. Like I was already hearing like the bass and like what I want the drums to do here. I needed a space to do all that.
Yeah. So,
but it wasn't like I just had like vocals and guitar. Like I knew what I wanted the whole song to sound like. And then he provided awesome insights. Like my song When We Were Young, he completely did the bass for that song.
Yeah.
Cause like the bass line I had just wasn't working. And he came up with a lot more like rocky, straightforward bass line. So he gave me a lot of input.
Got it.
For sure.
Got it. You ever watch like the Deconstructed?
Love that series.
Love the Deconstructed.
They're so sick.
Oh, dude.
Those are amazing to me.
Like, there's some great ones where
yes.
But there's some that like the producer is just like,
I just like threw this in there. Yeah, you're like, dude.
Like I watched Yes Indeed, the Drake and Baby song. What's his name? Wow, I'm blanking on his name. He's like a super famous producer.
Is that Team? That's not Team Minus.
No, it's not Team Minus. It's oh my god. Khalil, who produced Yes Indeed?
Is it Metro?
Oh,
Easy out
Wheezy out of here. Wheezy Beats.
Yeah,
Wheezy Beats. Shout out to Khalil.
Shout out Khalil. Intern.
Wheezy Beats. Yeah, he's like, man, like, just like threw a couple things together and and here it was. Just pressing play. He's like, I found the bass and then I called Drake.
Yeah.
Like, all right, bro. Like,
And it's a slap.
It's a hit. I know. That's almost the ones I like more, where it's just like, as opposed to like, oh, I found this and like found this. Like, it's just like, oh no, I just felt it and threw it together, and then it just worked out.
There's definitely a level of geniusness in simplicity, right? But then you have the deconstructed that are like Redbone by Gambino.
Ooh,
the deconstructed for that one, it's crazy because it's all real instruments in it, like.
That's such a good song.
That you should watch that one. That's a whole nother level. That's opposite end of the spectrum. Like very meticulous, like
every detail. Yeah. Just attention to detail. And then what's the other one? Like, but just talking about simplicity in it. Like, there's this one song that we were listening to today. It's called Tidal Wave, but J. Cole's like alter ego or whatever. Kill Edward. It's just the most simple. I don't know why it hits me so hard, but like every time I hear that song, it just puts me in present time. Yeah. And like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, do you have any songs that do that for you? Like, just put you in present time where you're like, wow, like I can't even think about anything else because this beat's fucking me up.
Yeah, I'd have to think.
No, but
I definitely have some bag songs for sure.
Yeah, but it's just so simple. But it's not even like it's not even makes me sad. Like, makes me like happy.
No, it's
like,
almost
grateful,
nostalgic.
Like, exactly. But it's just a weird feeling I've never. Nothing else gives me.
See, and back to kind of how I hear music too. Like, that song is so cool because it's like the piano is so simple and like, and the hats in the song,
subtle
the hats are like
very
like syncopated and like the way he's rapping or singing, I guess, like the cadence falls between the hi-hats and like it's just beautiful.
Yeah, so you hear all that. And
I hear all
this
that.
Is dope. Like,
yeah. It's just like one step further.
Yeah, no, but it's like, but it's just so simple. Like, even what he's saying is just like it's nothing. It's nothing really.
Simplicity, I think, always wins at the end of the day.
I think so.
With songwriting, like, I don't know. That's why I can't do like electronic music as
much.
You
don't do electronic music?
Not really.
Are you saying like EDM?
Yeah.
I can't stand EDM.
It's just too much.
EDM or country, I can't do.
I like country. I like country, but that's simplicity right there. But a lot of country that I have been listening to, like, or that has come out recently, I don't like because, and I've seen some videos on this, because like it's becoming more and more pop influenced. And so it's gotten to this point where it's just like
Old Town Road.
The instrumentation. Shout out Old Town Road. That song's fire.
That's just a hit. I don't care what anybody says.
It's becoming so much more pop influence that it's like, at this point, why would I listen to this when I can just listen to people who do it way better? Like, they're already throwing in 808s and like snaps.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't listen to country music at all.
It's gotten like it's snaps and like claps, like stuff you'd hear in hip hop. It's like, why wouldn't you just listen? I want country for what it is, and I want like my trap for what it is.
But everything grows.
It's
destined to change.
Yeah. No, I'm all for blurring of genres. I think that's awesome. Like, especially the last 5 years, like those walls getting broken down with artists like Ed Sheeran, Sam Hunt, people that are like crossing those lines, like
Ed Sheeran's,
Billie Eilish,
really crossing those
for sure.
Billie Eilish,
whoever, like, anyone is like, I want to just make music that's dope.
Yeah.
Or like with all the punk influence in hip hop now. Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
That's a real influence.
That wouldn't have happened during the gangster rap era.
Hell no.
So I think it's great for music and artists because it's like, we don't need to be in a box, right? We can do what we want.
I agree. And I love that. And I love that people have more freedom now because it's easy. It's the barriers to entry are so much lower than they've ever been, in the history of the world.
Well, look at like Lil Nas X with Old Town Road.
Like, how did that even blow up? I would love
he made a video. It was like Red Dead Redemption, and then.
But I would love for someone to do like a documentary on that.
Well, you know why?
How does that happen?
Part of the reason it blew up was because he was on the country charts.
Yeah, and then they took him off.
All that controversy. Yeah.
But even like getting on the country charts is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, even to get there.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, I don't know the full story, but. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy business, bro. Like,
for sure.
That whole industry's nuts.
I just, again, though, like, what really comes down to with me is I love writing songs. Like, I love just, like, when I get a moment to just, like, grab a guitar or grab my keyboard and, like, come up with something and start writing some lyrics, or maybe something like I'm driving and something comes to me, I'll, like, pull over, be safe, write down a lyric.
Oh, so
would never do it driving. Kids, mom.
Love you, mom.
Love you, mom. Just like pockets of inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's so great that you have like a creative outlet to capture those.
I'm thankful.
Like a lot of people, I mean, even me sometimes I'll be like, damn, I'm so inspired right now, but I don't have like anything to.
Now you do.
Hey man, I'm trying.
One thing that's interesting to me, I think we were talking about it off screen, but I feel like a difference for me between like music and like powerlifting are both passions of mine for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost feel like music is just kind of a part of me at this point. Like I've been doing it for so long. Like I started taking piano lessons when I think I was 8 or 9. And then I taught myself how to play drums, taught myself how to play guitar, can pick up a bass, and then started like writing songs. And so I feel like that's just always going to be a part of me kind of thing.
Like
so,
it is
I'm super thankful for that for sure. No. Yeah. Like I'm just soft.
Just,
you know,
you're my soft
I'm
boy.
so soft. I'm so soft.
Oh yeah, it's good to know yourself though,
for sure.
But I love you for that. But just kind of touching off that, it's a part of you now. Like backstory. So there's this priest at USC. I know it sounds crazy, but he's so lit. Like my parents are like, "Oh, Johnny, there's this priest you should meet." And I'm like, love you, Mom, but
I think the people want to know what you mean when you say this priest is so lit.
I'm cool off that. Nah, so like I meet him or whatever, and I'm like, whatever.
Humble brag.
He's like, if you ever want to come and drink some scotch and smoke cigars, like just let me know. And I'm like, bet. That's all you had to say. So I went over there and like we just had like 2 or 3 hours, and we were just like talking about life and like I'm not. I mean. I'm like faithful, but like I don't go to church really or anything like I'm not. I don't know. I don't really do that. I just kind of like believe in God, but like I don't know. So I'm trying to figure that all out right now, my faith and shit.
Absolutely.
And so I go over there and he's like, we just had the craziest, deepest talk of like just about life, like about everything. And then one thing he said that really stuck with me, he was like people think that what you do is who you are, and that's just not true. You know, he's like sure. You might work in production accounting, but like when people meet you out, like that's not who you are. Like who you are is what you do after that. Like who you are is, I don't know, what you like to do in your free time, or like
who you are is who you are when no one's watching.
Yeah, exactly. Like just because something pays the bills doesn't make you that. Like just because you do something that pays the bills, you know. So it's like just touching off that. It's like, but music is a part of you, you know, which is cool.
Life's about taking chances, making moves. It's not about what you did is what you do. Learn from what you got and.
What is that?
Learn from what you lose and never let people distract you from being you.
Who is that?
Some lyrics from NF. Love that line.
That's lit.
When's the priest getting on the podcast?
I asked him to come on. He kind of curved me. But fair play to the boy.
Fair play to the boy. Clean right.
Shout out to him. I don't want to say his name on here, but I don't know if that's kosher. But he's sick.
And when you like say his name, you're like,
yeah.
Switch the sound
blur it out. Honestly, so it's cool, man. It's just like. For me, just having this, it's like I've met so many people already who have been like, oh, what you doing? Like they'll just DM me.
Does this podcast inspire you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, it definitely does. But it is hard sometimes because you're like.
Should we just pivot here? I can interview you.
Huh? All right, bro. My bad. Never mind.
No.
Let's go back to you.
I didn't mean to what are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a Zip Fizz. It's like organic energy, 200 milligrams caffeine. No big deal. But anyways, back to me.
No, what's the like takeaway though from this? I'm curious about this.
The takeaway. I mean, man, it's hard to like really put yourself out there.
You're saying what you aren't. I can't speak.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Take over.
I mean, like people like you really inspire me though, because it's like your music shit. You know, it's like
my music shit.
It's not your music stuff. Your music recording, passion, song writing, and acoustic guitar playing is really cool, man. Because it's like it's not easy to be like, okay, like. Here's me, like into the whole world. Like here's 6 songs that I wrote, recorded, and I'm gonna share with everybody and put myself out there.
Like it's vulnerable.
Fuck yeah, hell yeah, frick yeah, whatever. I gotta stop cussing so much. But yeah, man, it's like for me that like just seeing people do that kind of stuff, especially people I'm close with. It's like, and I mean I've talked about this a little bit, but in the past it's like I'd hate on that a little bit. You know,
oh really?
Not on you specifically, but just like people going after stuff, I'd be like, that's stupid, because like I didn't have the courage to do what I wanted to do, and so like so they're showing me something I'm insecure about in myself. Yeah. And so, but now it's like since I'm doing this, it's like something I really love to do and want to do. It's like I'm just so much more fulfilled. Yeah. Like, I can't even. But I mean, it is hard sometimes too, because it's like it's just like it's hard, man. It's like it's hard to just put yourself out there over and over
Yeah, and
again.
there's some
like,
days you don't want to do it, or you're like
Dude.
you get embarrassed, or like and then the doubt starts creeping. You're like, well, you can be so proud of something, like so proud of it, and then one person says one thing, and your day's just ruined. They're like, oh, like
exactly.
This sounds bad, or like
Like
that's why I can't imagine like people that are actually famous and like on YouTube, like the YouTube comments. Like
you'd really just have to tune it out. Like you can't even look. I couldn't even look about like because one dude texted me this big long thing about like just kind of not hating but pretty much hating, and I was like
on this podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, like that hurt. You know, like
well that's like personal.
Yeah,
too,
yeah. But still,
was it your dad?
No, my dad. Steve watches every episode. Steve's my biggest fan. I love him. He's like,
when's the merch dropping?
When's
the merch dropping?
Oh, don't worry about the merch. We're in talks.
Good.
No, but I don't know, man. Like I'm just trying to get more episodes out. And but like you said, that doubt will creep in sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Just gotta shut it out.
You just gotta keep moving.
I feel like I don't know, just who I am. Like I really don't care a lot about what other people think. Like I'm just always someone who's just kind of done my own thing.
That's amazing, man.
I'm just like
yeah, as you should.
I'm thankful for that. The way I was raised, I guess, just like I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
that's amazing.
I'm just gonna be me.
That's all you can.
I feel like I'm pretty decent at just kind of being the same goofy ass guy, like no matter who I'm with, kind of thing. Yeah, like you pivot based on who you're with, like a little bit. Just that's how humans are. But like in general, I don't know. I kind of take pride in just like being me.
Yeah,
being Garrett.
You've always been that, and that's been like great for me to see too. You know, because like I used to not be like that at all. I used to pivot.
It's hard.
I used to pivot a lot more.
Yeah.
When I was around certain people.
But
like,
now you're way happier, right?
Dude, what? So much happier.
Yeah.
Because I'm just one person. You know. Like,
yeah.
I don't have to be Mr. Cool Guy with these people.
Mr. Tough guy
with these other people. Like you know, it's like
yeah.
it's just me now. And if people don't,
I
don't know. If people don't.
And
like
for me,
that,
for like the creative process too, like I'd feel like when I've written things that just don't feel right, I'm like I don't want to finish this. Like I always try and write songs that are at least based on a true story, I guess. Like I don't know, just for me personally. Sometimes I would just feel weird if I just was writing something about something I never experienced.
Yeah.
Like it just has to be like based on true story. Like a song I wrote that I haven't like put out yet or whatever is like based on a true story, and I definitely added a lot of things just to make it rhyme and like build a better narrative. But it's still very much like I relate to the song that I wrote.
Right.
And I feel like if you can't like,
then it won't be good.
Yeah.
Like
or that's when you got to outsource it to someone.
Yeah. Oh, got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that creative process is a great thing though.
For sure.
It's like that's what really feeds your soul, you know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm very thankful for that outlet, and it's great. I want to keep.
Yeah, man. You're someone with a lot of outlets too.
Got to keep those plugs in. Dad joke.
He got jokes. He really has jokes. So yeah, man. So post college stuff. You graduated USD.
I did. Shout out. Go Toreros.
Go Toreros. And then you went back to Oregon, where you're from.
Yeah. So I'm from.
They don't pump their own gas up there, right?
No, it's crazy. I didn't learn how to pump my gas till I turned like 18 and came down here.
Y'all got to get out the Stone Age.
I pumped gas for the first time freshman year of college.
That's insane.
Yeah,
wasn't that my car?
It was.
Didn't I teach you
Shout
how to
out
pump
Cam.
gas? Camry Newton.
R.I.P. Did you teach me how to pump gas?
I think I did. Yeah.
That's love.
Yeah, we've been through it all.
We've been through the ringer. Man, find you someone who teaches you how to pump gas.
Hey, I'm around, baby. I'm
thick and thin.
But yeah, so after you graduated, you moved back to Oregon for a
Yeah,
bit?
so I moved back home and was working for a marketing agency up there, and it was, long term. I knew I didn't want to be home. I love my family to death, but just like where I'm from is not like super big. I'm from Eugene, Oregon, and it's just like,
let's go Ducks.
Let's go Ducks. Shout out Ducks. Shout out Toreros. There's just like I wanted to spread my wings, and like the kind of work I wanted to do with digital marketing was just not happening there.
Yeah.
And so I'm super thankful for my experience I had with that agency and working down there or up there. But I was like, hey, either got to go to Portland or back to San Diego, and then ended up back down to San Diego after like 8 months of working there. It was the whole time I was there though. I was like, this mentality of you have to do what you need to do before you can do what you want to do.
I love that.
That was, you know, in my mind the whole time. Like, I knew what I was doing was going to help me in the long run and help me get the next job kind of thing. You know, we all want everything right now.
Yeah,
but
especially our generation.
For sure. But like delayed gratification is such an important thing.
It's something you need.
Yeah. Like, and so I was like, I have no problem like getting this experience and okay, no problem before I go to the next step, you know?
Yeah, man. So wait, so when you were up in Oregon, you were searching for jobs in San Diego, right?
Yeah, and Portland.
How stressful was that for you?
It was stressful. I mean, I ended up, you know, applying to over 150 jobs.
Damn. Like
spread between there, like some other, you know, there's places sprinkled in, but yeah, it was stressful because it's just like I was interviewing and like I'm doing everything. It's not out of laziness, right? Like I'm sending off applications almost every day.
Yeah.
I was just like, something will land, and just trusting that it will. Like, trusting that some things are out of your control. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's kind of a thing I've really realized about life recently is there's so much in our lives we can control.
Yeah.
And so we should focus on controlling those things and putting in the work and effort to control that.
I love that,
But
bro.
there's also even more in our lives that we can't control. Mm-hmm. So why would you waste your energy on that when you can spend your energy controlling the things you can control? Like, don't complain about something if you can change it. But if you really can't change it, then don't worry about it.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
It's like my mom always says that, just like in friendships and like business relationships and like any relationship, really, it's like you only can control 50% of that. Like you can't control 100% of that.
Yeah.
Because it's another person, it's another company, it's another whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, she's like, just control that 50. And after that, whatever happens, you can live with, you know? It's like, just do your best to give your best 50. Like that shit is real.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout out your mom.
Yeah. I take that with me for sure. But that's just exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
You know? And then, so from Oregon to San Diego.
Yeah.
Back to his kingdom.
Land of the sun.
San Diego.
I'm Casper the Friendly Ghost, so I need a tan.
You do need to tan.
We'll work on it this summer.
Yeah, man.
It's tough when you work a 9 to 5.
I don't know how y'all do that.
I don't know how y'all do that.
It is crazy. But yeah, so now you're working. Where are you working again? Digital marketing?
Digital marketing. Yeah. So, so basically, the stuff I was doing before was a lot more creative focused. So like social media. That was kind of the majority of what I was doing, like at my internship I had in college, and then the job after graduating, like social media and strategy. But now I'm doing a lot more, still doing that for sure, but I'm ultimately like working a lot more with numbers now. So the numbers game.
I love the numbers. Like
numbers
in what way?
So yeah, basically,
like what does your company do?
I don't even know where to start. Yeah. So
what does your company do?
Basically, we optimize for clients, right? They give us money and we spend it to get them more revenue, essentially. So like
traffic to their website. Right?
Yeah, traffic to their site through Google search, other search engines like Bing, Yahoo, and then through social media like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So running ads essentially for our different clients to, like I said, get them more conversions, whatever that is, whether they're trying to get like job applications or like purchases. Digital marketing is crazy. And like I've only been with the company for I think 4 months now, but there's just so much going on like that we don't realize. Like there's just a war going on search engines right now to like rank above people.
You were explaining it to me before the podcast a little bit, and it was fascinating what you were saying with like the running shoes. What were you saying?
So I mean,
that example fucked me up.
Let's get back into it. So like when you search running shoes on Google, there's a fight going on to like have companies show up first. So I think last night, was it Zappos showed up?
Zappos showed up first.
So Zappos, which is owned by Amazon, that basically means that their ad, they're probably outbidding all their competitors and they have a better quality score. So I'll explain what that means. So they're ranking number 1. So that basically means that their ad is showing up. So they're putting a higher bid in.
So they're spending more money.
They're spending more money. So like a lot of these, the way these things work is cost per click, which means that if you were to click on that ad for the running shoes, it would charge Zappos or whoever's doing their optimizing for them. It would charge them per click. And so sometimes those clicks can get really competitive. Like, yeah, maybe they'll be like in the cents, like 20 cents per click. But if a term, if it's really competitive, like I've seen them get to over $10 and they can get into hundreds of dollars. So like literally anytime someone clicks your ad, you could owe $100 if it's that competitive. Like running shoes, I'm sure
it's probably up there, right?
It's for sure up there. I mean, you got Zappos competing against like any sort of wholesale, like a Walmart.
Yeah, it's crazy. Zappos is first, but Amazon
is. It's Amazon. Don't think of it as Zappos. Think of it as Amazon.
It's Amazon.
They can push. So they're bidding. They can push numbers. So they're bidding a ton, but then also their quality score is the best, which basically means when you click on that ad, you're actually getting running shoes. And it's like a good, clean landing page. Like it's easy to navigate. Like it's a good experience for the user.
Mm-hmm.
If you clicked on the running shoe ad and all of a sudden you got taken to like an ad for hiking shoes, like that's going to ding you on your quality score. So the query, you know, has to match what's actually on the site, like what you're searching. The keyword has to be tailored to what you actually want.
Got it.
So that's what goes into it too.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like a bidding war behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just like very much scratching the surface of it.
Yeah.
Where like basically what I'm doing is I'm going to these accounts every day and like looking at the site traffic, like seeing how they're doing, like how many clicks did we get, how many conversions did we get, like where can we pull back spend, where can we push spend, what's being more efficient, like let's put more money there.
It's so much fun though.
It's fun. And it's starting,
so
as I'm starting to understand it more too,
Yeah.
like it really is cool to see like you're managing a lot of money and like you're pushing it in different areas, and it's cool to like give the input and like start to drive strategy now.
So I have a question.
I have an answer.
What makes them go with your firm as opposed to other firms? Like how competitive is that digital marketing?
It's pretty damn competitive.
It is.
We just do it better.
That's beast.
Like that's just straight up what it is. Like,
yeah.
Just, you know, the clients we work with, like there's some big names. Probably can't say them right now, but like it's reputable. It's reputable.
What does that mean? Oh, reputable.
Reputable. Did I say that?
Reputable.
Reputable.
Probably a few ways to say it. Probably a few ways to say it.
Yeah, and then the other side, like, is when you're running ads. We were also talking about this last night. A lot of agencies do this. It's called A/B testing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, like, if you want to run ads for the Johnny Novo podcast,
JNP
plug, you do like one way you can do it to see like what ads are appealing to your audience. Which, sidestep, audience is super important, like to know your audience in digital marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Johnny Novo podcast, chances are most of the viewers are probably between ages of 20 and 25. I'm guessing the majority of them are male, maybe slightly.
Hey, I gotta look at some.
You got those metrics.
I gotta look at some analytics.
So when you're making ads, like why would you be targeting 40-year-old women in New York when you know most of your audience is like down here in Southern California, or like, you know, where your friends are basically.
Yeah.
And obviously as this podcast expands and gets bigger, which it will, you know, you'll be able to expand your audience more. But why would you waste money, like I said, targeting 40-year-old women in New York?
Yeah.
And you can target the people here.
Yeah, definitely.
And so knowing like, okay, now I know that my audience is 20, 25-year-old men in Southern California. What do they like? Like what is interesting to them? And that's when you start to choose like how to target your ads and tailor them. Like what's going to draw them in, what's going to get them to click on my podcast and listen.
Definitely.
And so one way you can do that is through A/B testing. And so if you have an ad, and let's say the ad is like a snippet of this, my podcast, like my episode, and let's say the sound clip is the same thing. So it's like, you know, the quote, the snippet of the video is the same in each ad, but then you change one aspect. So maybe like the caption is different in the post. So A and B, and you see which one performs better. You only change one variable. Same thing they do in like testing and science and labs, right? You just change one thing. And for digital marketing, it's which one is more efficient. So maybe like your cost per clicks, your upstream metrics were a lot lower with this, with like version A. And so it's way more efficient. And you're like, okay, well, let me pause out the loser and just use this one. Yeah. And you bring in something new, like test something new.
Another A/B test.
And then when you're starting to sell products like running shoes, you can see maybe this one ad, like I sold 100 running shoes, but the cost per acquisition was like $40-$50. That's really high, right? Because like if you're selling shoes for $100, like that's not great.
No, it's
not much.
shitty.
That's not an awesome profit. But then maybe another one, you sold 200 running shoes, and the cost per acquisition was only like $20.
Yeah,
like that's your winner,
that's the
right?
one you want. Yeah.
Yeah. So it gets really complicated because sometimes you'll have like really good upstream metrics, which means like it's your ads getting shown a lot and it's getting a lot of clicks, but maybe like when it's time to actually buy things, people aren't buying them. So it's the whole world. And then remarketing.
That's so much. Yeah, there's so
retargeting is creepy, right? Like I searched San Diego Zoo one time and I got ads for the next week, like on my phone, on like Instagram, like on Facebook, everywhere.
Dude, why? So you guys do that too?
Dude, I've gone.
You guys
I've
suck.
gone. Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, that's what. I've gone ads like on like dating apps too, like for stuff. Like it's everywhere. You cannot escape it. Shout out Hinge.
Shout out. He's the king of Hinge.
No, I'm not.
Ladies, find him on Hinge.
No.
Wait. So okay, because I remember Beam was like, he was freaked out because he called his mom and was like, "Yo, like I want to get a rice cooker." Like on the phone, and then like that night he goes and like just like online and he sees an ad for a rice cooker.
Yeah, I was tapping into that line.
What is that? Can't be legal. Is that legal?
I don't know. I honestly I don't know how that works. Like with privacy, I mean it must be.
Because that can't
maybe
be
you
a
have something
coincidence.
enabled. I don't know. But the same thing happened to me, like a very similar
I
thing.
don't want him listening, man. Don't listen to my. Not like I have anything to hide, but you don't want to be in this mind.
Well, the funny thing is the thing I got targeted for was they misheard me. So like I was talking about this one product. It was like Noon or something. I think they're like I don't even know, some company. And I got targeted for a company called Noom or something. Like they misheard me talking about it. It's kind of funny.
That's scary. No, that's not funny. That's scary.
But the other thing we're talking about, it's crazy. Like you can make, it depends, but like one thing you could do is if you're Nike, you can target anyone that's been to the Adidas site, like a competitor campaign. It's cutthroat.
That's ruthless, man. I don't like that. All right. Well, we got to start wrapping up a little bit, but
sure.
It's flown by, man. Last question.
How long have we been going?
Almost an hour now.
Wow.
Yeah. Last question for you.
Do this all day.
So 2 more hours.
I'll be here all night.
So like, where do you see yourself in the future being like fulfilled, happy? Like, what does that ideal life look like for you in 10, 20 years?
For sure.
I love that question. And the answers just vary so much. It's crazy.
Chief Marketing Officer of the Johnny Noble podcast.
Okay. Is that okay? All right. Yeah.
Mr. Tough Guy.
If that's what you want.
I'd say, like, I would love to get to a point, like, long term where I can, like, have the freedom and time to record music a lot. I also want to own my own gym one day. Like, I'd love to work with clients and have, like, a small, like, powerlifting gym. That would be, like, that's kind of an end game vision of mine. But I'd love to have a little studio, too, like... Obviously, I need some bread before I build that, but like, but that's kind of, I think that's where I'm happy, right? Like, I want to be helping people, like with lifting, like powerlifting, or some sort of training. Like, I just love that. Like, that gives me so much life. Definitely. Like helping others, and then music gives me so much life. And this whole marketing thing, like, I feel like I'm really blessed because I wouldn't say like marketing's the passion of my life, right?
Yeah.
But it's super interesting to me, and I'm really drawn into it right now because I'm not great at it yet, and so like I want to learn. And so I think it would be really cool if I could be like in charge of, you know, this digital stuff, or for a friend, or like doing my own stuff.
You're at the forefront of it.
Yeah. So
God damn, man.
We'll see. I feel like ultimately I'll be happy as long as I'm sticking true to myself and making time for my passions, right? We make time for the things we want. Yeah. And I think you can have time for anything if you just, you know, prioritize and
definitely
maybe cut things out elsewhere.
Got to trim the fat.
Yeah, trim the fat.
Garrett Stollar, everybody. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Love.
We'll get you back on.
All right.
We got to reach for this one. Love you, dog.
Love.
Mwah.